Good evening. I'm Diana Kerrigan, and I am a 9-month cancer survivor. I must admit I get a bit scared using that term, since it's only been 8.5 months since I've been cancer-free. As I tape this piece, my 9-month checkup will be the day before this event. But I feel in my heart, and with Gary Lamb's encouragement, that it will be a true statement tonight as we celebrate Cinco Charities and what it has meant to me in my journey. My husband Bob and I have been married for 31 years, and we live in Wimberley, Texas, a small town of about 1,500 people, centered southwest of Austin and northeast of San Antonio. It's about a 3.5-hour drive from our home to MD Anderson downtown. We're very active volunteers in our local community tennis association. As Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. My message tonight is about the opportunities afforded me through my most difficult times. I will warn you, I get emotional. I like to blame it on the chemo, but then I blame everything on that these days. And I've been an emotional person my whole life, so I will stumble and I will choke up, but the message is from the heart. My cancer was discovered by my family dentist during a routine visit. He refused to allow me to have my teeth cleaned until I had an ear, nose, and throat doctor look at the suspicious spot on my upper soft palate. I was told to go sooner versus later, which I did. 3 months later, when the spot was large enough to biopsy, I was given the dreaded words everyone fears: you have squamous cell carcinoma cancer. My first opportunity was that it was caught early, and the next was that Dr. Lano had gone to med school and was best friends with Dr. Chris Holsinger of the Head and Neck Cancer Center at MD Anderson. They had spoken the night before my visit with Dr. Lano, and Dr. Holsinger said, "Send her to me, I'll take good care of her." And that he did. I could go into a lot of detail about all the procedures I had done, and all the decisions there were to be made in a very short period of time. But the bottom line is that I chose to have Dr. Holsinger do robotic surgery to remove the tumor and the surrounding cancerous tissue in November 2007. It was basically a crescent shape that went from the roof of my mouth, down the side of my throat, to the base of my tongue. We all felt very confident that that was it. A stage 1, simple process. We got it all, and I was fortunate to begin the healing process. Another opportunity. But then the real difficulty began. In January, during my routine follow-up appointment, 2 lymph nodes were found to be cancerous. It required a neck dissection, removing the diseased nodes and 44 others to be biopsied. Fortunately, those were the only 2 cancerous nodes. Again, Dr. Holsinger did the surgery, and I began another healing process. But this put me in a stage 3 category, meaning radiation and chemotherapy were advised. More difficulty, stress, and decisions. This would be a 6-week process. Monday through Friday, I'd have radiation at the Katy Treatment Center, and on Wednesdays, I'd have a 5 to 6 hour chemotherapy procedure downtown. I had so much confidence in the MD Anderson team that I really wanted to continue with them. This meant being away from home Monday through Friday and finding a place to stay during this time. I cannot stress enough how much going to the Katy Center helped me. It was convenient, friendly, and remember, we weren't used to Houston or your traffic, and it was much closer to home. A huge opportunity. More opportunities. A dear friend loaned her guest bedroom home to me for the next 3 weeks, and I instituted a girlfriend tag team with drivers to get me to Houston, my treatments, and then back home again. It was quite a complicated procedure, but it worked. The first 3 weeks, while I still felt well and had energy, a friend drove me up and back every Monday. Another friend drove me up on Tuesday and stayed with me to drive home on Friday. Bob took me my first week and my dreaded last two. I go into this detail so you can truly appreciate what Cinco Charities did for me, Bob, and our friends. But as the radiation and chemotherapy started doing their job, it became more difficult physically. I sent an email to the MD Anderson social worker asking if there were any places available to me to stay Monday through Friday for the last week of April and the first 2 weeks in May. My biggest opportunity of all came in an email the very same day from Stacy Wright with Cinco Charities. She explained their program to me and asked if they could help me. Could they help me? Not only were Bob and I not familiar with the Houston area at all, but as stated earlier, my radiation treatments were at the Katy facility and the chemotherapy was downtown on Holcomb. The Marriott Town Place Suites was in between the two, and this would all be taking place during the most difficult weeks of my treatment. There are no words to express all the opportunities that Cinco Charities opened up for Bob and me. Not only did we have a very nice, convenient place to stay, and I cannot compliment the staff at the hotel enough, but we made new friends who took such a major burden off our shoulders. At one of the most difficult times in our lives, they literally answered our prayers. We had a home away from home. This allowed us to focus on my healing and not have any additional worries. And it took a major burden off my family members. Then even more opportunities. I started receiving emails, cards, and phone calls, all from what were once strangers, and all from Cinco Charities board members. They became an extra support system that was so desperately needed. I received emails from Stacy, Gary, phone calls from Chris and Gary, and that continues today. Gary continues to prop me up when needed through emails, and I know that I can call on any one of them at any time, even if I just need a shoulder. So through our difficult times, we can always find opportunities. My Cinco Charities family will always have a special place in my heart, and as I've told them many times, there are no words adequate enough to say thank you for all you've done for me. In closing, I'd like to share a story about a ritual at the Katy Treatment Center. Every patient, upon completing their radiation treatment plan, is joined by all the staff in the treatment waiting area. On the wall is a plaque with a bell the patient rings, and then they read this poem written by a naval rear admiral following his own cancer treatment. Ringing out. Ring this bell 3 times well, it's told to clearly say, my treatment's done, this course is run, and I am on my way. So I feel as though I am ringing out again tonight, 9 months later. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the privilege of being able to meet the rest of the Cinco Charities team and being able to thank you all in person.